SPIP bylaw number 775. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, seconded by Councillor Goldwax. Resolved the request to authorize the second floor addition with facade modification of a detached single-family home located at 18 Gayton and submitted to the Planning and Advisory Committee meeting on July 15, 2024 is deferred as recommended by the PAC. The proposed project only partially meets the prescribed standards of the zoning bylaw 001, only partially meets the prescribed standards of the site planning and architectural integration program bylaw 775. Anyone opposed? Deferred. 5.5. Request to authorize one minor exemption to zoning bylaw 1001 for a detached single-family home located at 78 lot number 2089 478 zone RA1 zoning bylaw 1001 and bylaw concerning minor exemptions number 1013. Any interventions? Considering that members of council reviewed the request for one minor exemption to zone bylaw 1001 to section 77 to allow the sitting of a generator on the left side yard instead of the rear yard. Considering that the Planning Advisory Committee on its meeting held on July 15, 2024 recommended to approve the request for one minor exemption to zone bylaw 1001. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Goldwax. Resolved the request for one minor exemption to zone bylaw 1001 for the property located at 78 Thurlow, lot number 2089478, zone RA1 is approved. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 5.6. Request to authorize an addition with facade modification for a detached single-family home located at 44 Granville, lot number 2088936, zone RA1, zoning bylaw 1001, SPIP bylaw number 775. It was proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Goldwax. And resolved that the request to authorize an addition with facade modification for the detached single-family home located at 44 Granville, submitted to the Planning Advisory Committee meeting on July 15, 2024, is deferred as recommended by the PAC. The proposed project meets the prescribed standards of the zoning bylaw 1001 and only partially meets the prescribed standards of the site planning and architectural integration program bylaw 775. No one opposed. Deferred. 5.7. Request to authorize an addition on the rear side yard with facade modification for a detached single-family home located at 35 Dufferin, lot number 208653, zone RB5, zoning bylaw 1001, SPIP bylaw number 775. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Alfazzi. Resolved the request to authorize an addition of the rear side yard with facade modification for a detached single-family home located at 35 Dufferin and submitted to the Planning Advisory Committee meeting on July 15, 2024 is deferred as recommended by the PAC. The proposed project meets the prescribed standards of the zoning bylaw 1001, only partially meets the prescribed standards of the site planning and architectural integration program bylaw 775. Anyone opposed? Deferred. 5.8. Request to authorize two minor exemptions to zoning bylaw 1001 for a detached single-family home located at 21 Stratford, lot number 288-714, zoning RA1 zoning bylaw 1001 and bylaw concerning minor exemptions number 1013. Were there any interventions? It's deferred anyway.
See if it's deferred.
It's deferred for 2 weeks.
It's deferred.
Yep. Considering that members of council have reviewed the request for two minor exemptions to zoning bylaw 1001 to section 118 paragraph 2 to allow in the front yard the combined width of the vehicular access and pedestrian access at 43% instead of 40% of the land side width. To section 119 paragraph 2 to allow the slope of the vehicular access at 12% instead of the maximum of 10%. Considering that the Planning Advisory Committee on its meeting held on August 12, 2024 recommended to defer the request for two minor exemptions to zoning bylaw 1001. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Goldwax. And resolved that the request for two minor exemptions to zoning bylaw 1001 for the property located at 21 Stratford, lot number 288-714, zone RA1 is deferred. Anyone opposed? Deferred. 6.1. Authorization to attend the colloque Cybersecurity et Protection des Données Personnelles organized by Group Le Point. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Goldwax, and resolved the Council authorizes the Director General and the Director of Information Security to attend the colloque Cybersecurity et Protection des Données Personnelles, which will be held in Quebec City on October 10, 2024. The incurred expenses will be reimbursed in accordance with the current internal reimbursement procedure. That the Treasury ticket number 24-45 and 24-46 dated July 2nd, 2024 attest to the availability of the funds required to cover the reimbursement of these expenses. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 6.2. Authorization to attend the Conseil 2024 organized by l'Ordre des Administrateurs Agréés. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Goldwax. And resolved that the Council authorized the Director of Information Security to attend the Conseil 2024, which will be held in Montreal on November 7th and 8th, 2024. That the incurred expenses will be reimbursed in accordance with the internal reimbursement procedure. That the Treasury certificate number 24-470 dated July 2nd, 2024 attests to the availability of the funds required for the reimbursement of these expenses. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 7.1. Adoption of bylaw number 732-1 concerning the use of pesticides and fertilizers. Whereas the members of council received a copy of bylaw number 732-1 concerning the use of pesticides and fertilizers declared to have read it. It is proposed by Councillor Alfasi, seconded by Councillor Farber. Resolved to approve bylaw number 732-1 concerning the use of pesticides and fertilizers. Anyone opposed? Yes. 7.2. Adoption of the tariffs bylaw number 1010-25, whereas the members of council received a copy of the tariffs bylaw number 1010-25 declared to have read it. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Edery. Resolved to approve the tariffs bylaw number 1010-25. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 8.1. Approval of disbursements for the month of June and the 2 first weeks of July 2024. Considering that council reviewed the list of payments for the month of June and the 2 first weeks of July 2024, it is proposed by Councillor Edery, second by Councillor Schaefer, resolved that the disbursements for the period from June 1st, 2024 to July 15, 2024, in the total amount of $2,868,402.61 are hereby approved. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 8.2. Transfer of funds to finance expenses for the purchase and installation of an air conditioning unit not covered by the 2024 operational budget. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Edery. Resolved that the Town Council approves the transfer of $5,350 from GL number 02-190-00-30 to GL number 02-715-00-459 to finance the purchase and installation of an air conditioning unit for the community center. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 8.3. Transfer of funds to finance expenses to purchase of computer hardware not covered by the 2024 operational budget. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Edery. Resolved that the Town Council approves the transfer of $10,950 from GL number 02-190-00-310 to GL number 02-135-00-649 to finance the purchase of computer hardware. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 8.4. Transfer of funds to finance expenses for the purchase of security cameras not covered by the 2024 operational budget. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Edery. Resolved that the Town Council approves the transfer of $2,000 from GL's number 02-190-310 to GL number 02-135-00-649 to finance the purchase of a security camera. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 9.1. Renewal of the contract for the rental of 12-wheel trucks with drivers for snow transportation. Considering that there's been a public call for tenders for the rental of 12-wheel trucks with drivers for snow transportation for winter seasons 22-23 and 23-24, including 3 renewal options of 1 year each. Considering that after analyzing the tenders open on September 13, 2022, the lowest bidder conforming to the requirements of the tender invitation was Coopérative de Transport du Montréal Métropolitain. Considering that by resolution 2022-293 adopted in October 2022, the council awarded the 2-year contract to the lowest compliant bidder. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Alfasi. Resolved that the contract with Coopérative de Transport du Montréal Métropolitain for the rental of 12-wheel trucks with drivers for snow transportation be renewed for the first of 3 renewal options according to the information below. That according to the frequency and quantities of work done over the past years, the estimated amount of the expense is $132,000, taxes included. That the Treasury receiver number 24-49 dated July 3, 2024 tested the availability of funds required to cover this expense. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 9.2. Renewal of contracts for the collection and transportation of garbage and organic waste. Consider that there's been a public call for tenders for 3-year contracts for the collection and transportation of garbage and organic waste with in addition 2 renewal options of 1 year each. Consider that after analyzing the tenders open on August 6, 2020, the lowest bidder conforming to the requirements of the public tender was 9064-3032 Quebec Inc. Considering that resolutions number 2020-233 and 2020-234 adopted by the Council in September 2020 authorized granting the 3-year contracts to the lowest bidder conforming to the requirements for the period from November 1st, 2020 to October 31st, 2023. Considering that the resolution number 2023-191 adopted by the Council in June 2023 authorized granting for the first option renewal to the lowest bidder conforming to the requirements for the period from November 1st, 2023 to October 31st, 2024. It is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Foster. Resolved that the contracts for the collection and transportation of garbage and organic waste be renewed for the second option renewal for the period from November 1st, 2024 to October 31st, 2025. The whole is more amply delineated hereunder. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 9.3. Granting a contract for the purchase of 2 utility vehicles, police version. Considering that there's been a public call for tenders for the purchase of 2 utility vehicles, police version. Considering that after analyzing the tenders open on July 30th, 2025, that's an error. Should be July 30th, 2024, right? July 30th, 2024. The lowest bidder conforming to the requirements of the tender is Venford Inc. It is proposed by Council Goldbach, seconded by Council Schaefer. Result of the following quotation for the following contract B and is hereby approved. The whole as more aptly delineated hereunder. $129,513.58. The Treasury Certificate number 24-51 dated August 7, 2024 tests the availability of the funds required to cover this expense. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.1. Hiring of Mr. Kenley Harold Zephyr Jean-Baptiste as a temporary blue-collar auxiliary for the Public Works Department. Whereas one temporary blue-collar auxiliary position, salary grade 3 with the Public Works Department is presently vacant, whereas the Public Works Director is recommending the hiring of Mr. Kenley Harold Zephyr Jean-Baptiste to fill such position. Whereas resolution number 2006-344 delegates jointly to the General Director and the Human Resources Director the authority to hire non-regular officers and employees for a term of not more than 520 hours. Whereas Mr. Kenley Harold Zephyr Jean-Baptiste has begun his assignment on July 22nd, 2024. It is proposed by Council Schaefer, second by Council Alfasi. And resolved to hire Mr. Kenley Harold Zephyr Jean-Baptiste as a temporary blue-collar auxiliary subject to usual conditions in accordance with the provisions of the collective agreement between Cube Local 301 of the Town of Hampstead. That the Treasury Certificate number 24-50 dated July 19, 2024 tests of the availability of funds required to cover this expense. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.2. Approval of the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract of Mr. E. Prosper Tedom Wabo with the Town of Hampstead. Whereas the Town of Hampstead wishes to confirm the permanent employment contract of Mr. E. Prosper Tedom Wabo. Whereas a letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mr. E. Prosper Tedom Wabo and the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General Wasada on July 26, 2024. It is proposed by Council Schaefer, second by Council Alfasi. Resolved to move the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mr. E. Prosper Tedom Wabo with the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General that was accepted on July 29, 2024. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.3. Approval of the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract of Ms. Simona Sotomayor with the Town of Hampstead. Whereas the Town of Hampstead wishes to confirm the permanent employment contract of Mrs. Simona Sotomayor. Whereas a letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mrs. Simona Sotomayor and the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General was signed on July 16, 2024. It is proposed by Council Schaefer, second by Council Alfasi. Resolved to approve the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mrs. Simona Sotomayor and the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General that was accepted on July 29, 2024. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.4. Approval of the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract of Mr. Thierry Gingra with the Town of Hampstead. Whereas the Town of Hampstead wishes to confirm the permanent employment contract of Mr. Thierry Gingra. Whereas the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mr. Thierry Gingra and the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General was signed July 26, 2024. It is proposed by Council Goldbach, seconded by Council Schaefer. Resolved to approve the letter of confirmation of permanent employment contract between Mr. Thierry Gingra with the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General that was accepted on July 29, 2024. Pretty popular this year.
Happy birthday.
Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.5. Approve the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract with Mrs. Lori LaBelle with the Town of Hampstead. Whereas the Town of Hampstead wishes to confirm the permanent employment contract of Mrs. Lori LaBelle. Whereas a letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mrs. Lori LaBelle and the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General was signed on July 16, 2024. It is proposed by Council Schaefer, second by Council Goldbach. Resolved to approve the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mrs. Lori LaBelle with the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General that was accepted on July 30, 2024. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.6. Approval of the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract with Mr. Ian Bresler with the Town of Hampstead. Whereas the Town of Hampstead wishes to confirm the permanent employment contract with Mr. Ian Bresler. Whereas a letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract between Mr. Ian Bresler and the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General was signed on July 26, 2024. It is proposed by Council Goldbach, second by Council Schaefer. Resolved to approve the letter of confirmation of the permanent employment contract with Mr. Ian Bresler with the Town of Hampstead represented by its Director General that was accepted on August 1st, 2024. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.7. Creation of a new function and a new position of Division Chief Purchasing. It is proposed by Council Schaefer, second by Council Alfasi. Resolved to create a new management function of Division Chief Purchasing, salary level 5, and to fill one position in a newly created function. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.8. Approval of the hiring list of white-collar student employees for the Community Services and Recreation Department. Certain that council members review the list of the Community Services and Recreation Director submitted on August 5th, 2024 on the hiring of white-collar student employees. It is proposed by Council Schaefer, second by Council Alfasi. Resolved the Town Council approves the hiring of white-collar student employees as detailed in the list from the Community Services and Recreation Department. The hiring is subject to the usual conditions in accordance with the provisions of the collective agreement between CUBE Local 429 and the Town of Hampstead. The The treasurer's certificate number 24-52 dated August 7, 2024, attests of the availability of the funds required to cover this expense. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 10.9. Review of the 2024 annual salary of Mr. Hugh Prosper Mwabo. It is proposed by Council Schaefer, second by Council Edery. Resolved to ratify the recommendations of the Director General regarding the adjustment of Mr. Hugh Prosper Mwabo's annual salary for the year 2024, effective as of September 1st, 2024, the whole in accordance with the management and remuneration policy of the Town of Hampstead, adopted April 1st, 2019 under Resolution 2019-094, revised annual salary. The Treasurer Certificate number 24-54 dated August 9, 2024, attests of the availability of the funds required to cover this expense. Just on a point of order, is there a conflict of interest that the treasurer is attesting availability of funds that would directly affect it? Is there no?
Making that attestation that the funds are available.
Okay, fine. Anyone opposed? Adopted. 11.1. An authorization to pay the expenses covering the Town of Hampstead's share of Montreal West Hampstead 2024-2025 season of minor hockey expenses and ice time. Consider that the Town of Hampstead participates in the hockey program hosted in Montreal West under the supervision of the Montreal West Civic Recreation Association. Consider that based on the anticipated number of Hampstead residents who will participate in the hockey program, the expected expense for the fall 2024, winter 2025 is approximately $17,000. Consider that based on the recommendation of the Community Services and Recreation Director, it is deemed justified given Hampstead's rate of participation in non-profit organizations' service. It is proposed by Councillor Edery, seconded by Councillor Schaefer, and resolved that the Town Council approves the payment of this expense as follows. At the end of the season, thus March 2025, the cost of the program will not exceed $17,000. That the Treasurer's Certificate number 24-53 dated August 7, 2024, attests to the availability of funds required to cover this expense. Anyone opposed? Adopted.
Jeremy, fast question.
Yes.
That 17,000 is the totality?
That's the maximum. It could be less, but it will not be higher.
Expense.
Correct.
For the whole town?
Correct.
17,000.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other business from council?
Yes.
Okay, let's go first. Please, Councillor Edery.
Just wondering if we can pass a resolution moving, say, $20,000 from surplus to emergency funds so we can use it for the purpose of fixing that building we're talking about.
What's he talking about?
Fix the Gaten Park, to fix the
Okay.
roof.
Do I have someone to second that?
I second it.
Okay.
Sorry?
Are we allowed to? Is there any objection? We'll need unanimous consent to make this happen. Do we have unanimous consent?
Yes.
No one opposes?
Because one councillor's missing.
Yeah, but it's not a special council meeting.
Right, so the resolution specifically is to move $20,000 from surplus to an emergency fund for purposes of,
Repairs in Council Park.
yeah.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. We understand the intention of what it is that we want to do, but we want to make sure that it's 100% kosher. So we're going to start the process. Our regular council meeting is in 2 weeks from now. So if it's not
If we can.
if it's not kosher the way we just did it, then we'll bring it back at the September.
But we should still get the contract.
Get it ratified at the next council meeting.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But we should still give the contract, not to lose.
Yes, that'll be done.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely. Any other business?
Yes, I just
Please,
want
Councillor
to,
Goldberg.
yes, I just want to remind everyone that this Wednesday in 2 days is the 18th annual blood drive that will be taking place right here in Hampstead, something I started 18 years ago on behalf of my son. The objective is 100 donors. We're already at 120 donors, so we've far surpassed our objective. And I urge everyone to come out, give blood, send somebody to give blood. It's
Well, how can we give blood if we're already at the?
Oh, they'll still take walk-ins. They
Oh,
will
yeah?
still take walk-ins. They promise they will take walk-ins from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. They will take walk-ins here.
Fantastic. Big yashikar to you,
Thank you.
and to Brandon and your whole family on this. It's an incredible endeavor that you have undertaken. Any other council business? Okay, so we'll move to the second question period. If there are any questions, please come to the microphone. And with that, we'll move to adjournment. The agenda having been completed is proposed by Councillor Schaefer, second by Councillor Farber. Resolved that this council meeting be adjourned at 8:23 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. Have a great evening.